si perde, ma il diavolo non la scortesce. Much too low.
I don't know what happened.
I will tell you what happened. You forgot to turn on the oven.
Oh,
I've been watching you for a long time, mademoiselle. Your mind has not been on the cooking. Your mind has been elsewhere. You're in love. Now we venture to go a step further. You are unhappy.
does it show?
Very clearly. A woman happily in love, she burns mercifully. A woman unhappily in love, she forgets to turn on the oven. Am I correct?
Yes. But I'm trying to get over it.
Oh, I try to get over it. You speak of love like it was a bad cough.
He doesn't even know I exist. Might as well be reaching for the moon.
The moon. Oh, you young people, you are so old-fashioned. Have you not heard? We are building rockets to reach the moon.
Things that I do in my maybe that's the point. So I have to trust myself and just walk. I thought I saw a bucket of leaves fly from a tree, but it was a flock of birds headed east. Thanks. My name is Avelo. I am from Berlin, Germany, and this is my first time performing at a show in 4 years. That's because I changed my fucking gender, which, in case anyone doesn't know, it's actually something you can do at any time for any reason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some songs for you. Like I said, I live in Berlin, but I've been there for most of my adult life, but I grew up in Connecticut. So know about me is that I've always been into severely older men. And yeah. And growing up in Connecticut, as soon as I turned 18, I was like, okay, it's off to the races. So I went to New York, and I was just like fucking anyone I could over the age of 50 who had a beard. And at some point though, I realized, I was like, wait, like, you can get paid to do that? And so I entered the workforce, and sex work for me, I was never good at it. Like, it was kind of, me doing sex work was like, I don't know, a dog running a pizza parlor. Like, the enthusiasm is there, but like the technique isn't really in-house. So what I mean by that is that I would fall in love with like every single person I met. And it's usually I feel like it's usually the opposite, like the stereotype that the client falls in love with the worker, but it was not that way. And but I met a lot of really interesting people. There was this one guy who will always stick with me. His name was Dan, or his name wasn't really Dan, but that's the name I gave him for this. But could you imagine if I just no? But his name was Dan, and he was in his like mid-60s, and we saw each other a lot. And one time, I don't know, it's really weird when you meet people like that, because a lot of the people I met, both in that context, but also just like in my dating life, were often men in like their 50s and 60s who had lived their whole lives doing something else, and then were kind of like, oh, this is the wrong script. Like, this is not who I am. And so then they pivot. And Dan said something really interesting to me one time where I was leaving his hotel room, and he was like, it's really cool that you get to do this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, you're gay. And I was like, oh. And that kind of stuck with me, because you could really see some people I met, how their demeanor completely changed when we met in public as opposed to in private. The way that someone's body changes the way it falls when it's not thinking about where it's falling. And I thought I had totally understood that, and I had always been very open about myself until a few years ago, where I realized that I was living in some very intense denial about needing to transition. And I thought about Dan. And so this song's called Dan for Now. You know, the guitar just might be out of tune, sorry. Also, another important thing to know about Dan is that he wanted like Pulitzer Drama Prize, like Stanislavski Circle in the Square type like theatrics, and I was just not good at that, so that's where this song starts. Stranded on your bed, I don't think I'll win an Oscar for this desperate performance I'm trying to put on. Autumn I-95, wrinkled suit and a bow tie, waiting on a feeling that never comes around. Mute your phone, I don't want to have to hear that sound. All I know is that I love the way that your body just falls when you don't think about where it goes at all. So soft, gently guide me, follow what you see, fall in, fall under the sea. You saw your future strangling your past, you didn't think that it miscast. You were Dan, or at least for now. I think I understand just how you got caught up, showed your hand, then folded in two. You said you love her, not that you respect her. I said I heard you, not that I believed you. Something on the news made me want to look away. Something I saw in you made me want to call it a day. But then it left me. I want to say that I'm nothing like you, but we both know that's not the truth. So I'll leave this room, try to find distance from your lips and how they locked on, focused right on me. You said it was too late for you. I didn't know what to say. I still don't know what to say. But I can't save you anyway. 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 I can't erase the look I saw in your eyes through the crack of the door before it closed, just before it closed. Thank you. The big thing that happened in my life this year is that I got bottom surgery. So I have been recovering for the last, it was like 4 months ago, and I'm writing my sex change album. So
Yay!
or I've already written it in September. So this is another song. All these songs are from that because I haven't really done much music in the last few years. So not much of this is recorded yet. This song is called Everything is Somewhat Repaired because, as I said, I live in Berlin, which is a city where vaginoplasty was first performed on a trans woman, Doel Richter, in 1927. And a good friend of mine, this wonderful woman, Judy, who's kind of like my trans mom, she has an amazing comic series called Everything is Somewhat Repaired, where she documents her transition. And in September, when I was going through this, I don't know, transition for me has been very traumatic, I would say. It's wonderful, it's life-saving, but to put your life back together, for me, I had to smash it completely to fucking pieces. And so the experience of putting that back together, both physically and mentally, is where this song comes from. It's called Everything is Somewhat Repaired. I can only lie down these days, hearing harmony in heat waves. Clap for my friends, say hi, then hug, then go home. I think seeing other people could work out for some things. But if we're seeing other people, when will you see me? I feel your death in these streets I walk. I hear your voice even when I talk. But you're nowhere that I can see. You would think that might feel strange, but I'm oddly relieved. I can't be everywhere, even if I want to be. Ooh. dear friend of mine who I met during that time where I was trapezing, is that how you say that? I was going around New York City. I don't know why I tried to be fucking fancy about it. Traipse, oh shit. I was walking. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Three.
But I met a few months after I turned 18, because like I said, I was looking for the older man, and I met this guy named Harold. Again, not his real name, don't look him up. And he was in his late 50s when I met him. He was just grieving the death of his late husband, who had just passed away. And we became good friends. We had sex, but we also became good friends. And he kind of became like a mentor to me. I was doing music, I was about to go to music school. And he was in the biz, he was a composer. And I had a lot of really wonderful times with him. And hilariously, I was looking back on our Facebook messages recently, and there, a few months after we met, or no, I think a week after we met, he texted me on Facebook Messenger, and he said, "Wow, you're so good at sex. How long have you been having it for?" And I said, "Oh, just a few months." And he was like, "Wow, I'm glad you have other talents than music." And I was like in my like Morrissey phase. So I responded, I said, "I don't want to let myself be defined by primeval pursuits." Which is like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's better than most Morrissey responses.
What the fuck? What? So, anyway, he was very nice. And in 2018, I just finished up with school again. I was going to move back to Germany, and I was planning to propose to my now husband. And I met Harold, and I told him this, and he was very happy for me. He was really glad I was doing all of that. And I went to go see a concert of his at Carnegie Hall, and the day after, he sent me a copy of this symphony that he had just finished, and a few weeks later, he died. He died of Legionnaire's disease. He went on a trip somewhere. The hotel, I guess, the hot water heater wasn't up to, I don't know, it wasn't safe. So he thought he had a cold, but he fucking died. And when I found this out, I went to her Facebook messages to kind of write her a message, just saying thanks for everything you've done for me. And I realized I didn't even respond to his last message sending me his symphony. So I listened to it and I cried. And I didn't go to his funeral because nobody knew that we were friends. And this song is for him.
Every
so I gave Kyle another call. And I asked them how it happens, how they expect the unexpected, and waited, pausing for the fall. They said I don't feel constrained by things I don't try to recreate. I think I know now, not where I am from, and I know that's where my own feeling comes. Harold, I wish you could see me. I wish we could drink some coffee. I wish I could say I'm sorry. I saw Sean and Dawn on Sunday. We went over how I went over. They were glad that I was happy. I feel a sense of refrain. I feel my life partly slip away. My fingers on a new type of release. So I'll stop writing and let you rest in peace. I feel something I've never known, but it feels more like I'm just coming home, like I'm remembering how I felt on your street. So I'll stop writing and let you rest in peace. I feel a sense of refrain. I feel my life partly slip away. My fingers on a new type of release. So I'll stop writing and let you rest in peace. I feel something I've never known, but it feels more like I'm just coming home, like I'm remembering how I felt on your street. So I'll stop writing and let you rest in peace. So I have one more quick song. Yeah, my name is Avelo, like I said, I'm from Berlin. And I haven't really recorded music in the last few years, but I'm starting to do it now.
Yes.
The first song I played tonight is already on streaming services, Fruits of Love. And I've been going viral on TikTok, which is fucking terrifying. I don't know if you've ever been trans on the internet, but I wouldn't recommend it. And,
Good for you.
Thanks. Yesterday I was like flipping through my phone. I seem to have, the Turks are like locked onto me. And so yesterday I was like, my notifications are broken on TikTok because I was just going through like people saying very vivid things about my death. And I was just like, maybe I should keep tabs on this. But then I kind of realized, no, I guess I can't. So, but I brought that up because I did release an EP of Christmas songs because I've been going viral on TikTok for doing duets with like this voice and then also my previous voice that I still use. And so I do like duets like with my dead self. That's what the EP is called, Christmas with My Dead Self. And so that's on Spotify too.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good though.
Well, I did like,
That's pretty good, though.
it's stuff like, I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold Baby, it's cold outside.
Stuff like that. So, anyway, okay, I'm gonna play one more song. This is by my great grandfather Bill Vino. He was the last person I really did music. He was a songwriter in the 1920s to like the 50s. His music never got famous, and so he just raise his family. And when I was in high school, my grandma gave me 78s, like these old records of his music. And it's really beautiful music, so I'm gonna play one of those songs from the 1940s. Also, I did want to say, I don't have any merch or anything, but I am doing a Least of All session in Brooklyn in 2 weeks, which is like where I'll play songs and they get recorded to late cuts records, like each individual song. We've only sold 4 and I need to sell 10, so I don't have to pay this huge deposit. So if anyone wants to help me out, that would be, I can tell you my Instagram, you can find a link. But if you want merch, that's the closest thing I have right now. So
Nice.
yeah, and so the song's called "The Nearest Thing to You." It's my great grandmother's song. The nearest thing to you, sweet as you are.